Welcome everybody to 3 Count Commentaries. I am MagMongoSlade and I am contractually obligated. There's literally a pistol to my head telling me I must review this show, but nobody says I have to be entertaining or fun while doing the show. So I'm going to try to do this show in under 20 minutes and see if it actually happens. Kenny Omega. He comes out, says that Don Callis and Takeshita motivated him to win the International Championship and to get back in the ring. And now he wants to make this title the most important title on the planet. So Tony Khan set up a tournament, a series of singles matches that leads to a fatal 4-way match. All of this is very stupid. All of this is pointless. It features Hechicero and Orange Cassidy, who wrestled in the main event. A main event so bad I didn't even watch it, so I don't know who won. But then the other match featured the Beast Mortos wrestling Speedball Mike Bailey. The guy with the Kung Fu gimmick, totally not completely white Montrealian, not at all. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the barefoot world warrior. Look, he got bench pressed off the top rope, thrown to the floor. Mortos rules. Mike Bailey wins. I don't care about this tournament at all. Ricochet is wrestling on Collision, and so is the other match on Collision. None of this matters. The first match on the show was the Ops. They defeated Jabronis. Shibata stared at Kenny Omega intently like we wanted to watch that match. Shibata needs to get deported. Next, Ricochet says that he didn't want that ugly ass robe anyway, and the international title looks better. And he wants Shibata to forfeit. That's not going to happen. They're going to end up having that terrible match on Collision. Technically, the match is going to be terrible because nobody's going to watch it, but it might actually be good in between the ropes, but nobody's going to know because they're not going to watch it. Ricochet didn't want the robe anyway, but he stole it. And now, all of a sudden, the storyline with Swerve is over? I mean, you stab me, I stab you, we have a match, you win, and now it's over? Interesting. Booker of the Year, folks. 6 years in a row. Tony Khan has the audacity to book Edge versus Moxley 2 in a street fight. Get fucked, Tony Khan. I guess you figure it can't get worse than the last one, so the only way to go is up from here. Swerve actually wants to win the title. He is confronted by Edge. They fist bump. Who cares? Moxley says that Edge needs to appreciate how he's the ultimate opportunist. He took the opportunity to beat Christian in the match, and if he did not want to lose the match, he should have taken the rules and understood the rules. You don't like the rules? Fuck it. I'll change the rules. Make it whatever kind of match you want. And now they're going to have a street fight. Oh my God. Pluck my eyeballs out. I don't want to watch that. Nobody wants to watch that because we just saw these two wrestle and stink up the joint. The second match on the show was Hologram and Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dralistico and Brian Cage. Who the fuck is Dralistico? Why is he on my television? And what the fuck is Hologram on television? Next thing you know, you have Harley Graham, who ensorcels the Beast Mortos with her hips. Her hips do not lie, apparently. And then she got him all twisted up. He was looking perplexed, confused even. And it didn't matter because Dralistico got pinned by Powerhouse Hobbs after a springboard spine buster. I do like Powerhouse Hobbs, but who gives a fuck about this? Deonna Purrazzo was in a Southern New Hampshire University commercial. I laughed out loud at that commercial. My God, she's pathetic. The Hurt Business want to fight. MVP gave them the night off. Why? I don't know. They want to go to the gym. MVP say, no, don't go to the gym. Go fuck some hoes. They say, no, we want to go to the gym. They go into the gym, I guess. Next, you know, MVP's out there with MJF. MJF was in the back punching mirrors, calling himself a fraud. He was very mad at himself, debasing himself. He comes out, says that the whole thing with Hangman Page ain't over. It ain't over by a long shot. He's going to fight him again. He wants some more. MVP comes out there, gives his whole story about the two of them working on a documentary where MJF was driving MVP around, and I remembered watching that. Didn't I see that? I think I saw that. Was that MTV or something that they did that for? In any event, they talked about working together at an indie show. I was like, that indie show, was that MLW? I don't know. Kind of. Might be. It might have been in that area. I remember MVP talking to Swerve at an indie show. I don't know what that indie show was. Don't remember. Anyway, MVP asked MJF to take his business card. MJF said he don't need it. He ain't nobody's little man no more. He don't need that. He ain't your driver no more. MVP said, look, you need this. You used to be former world champion. Emphasis on was. Take the business card, MVP. gives the business card to MJF. He takes it, puts it in his pocket. Next you know, MJF runs it to Hangman Page backstage. Hangman Page says, if you're going to try to set me on fire, baby, you need to mean it. He said that MJF is selling wolf tickets. You ain't really gonna set a nigga on fire. You ain't about that life. MJF says, I don't need to set you on fire. I'm gonna be the world champion. You're never gonna be the world champion. The fans are gonna get disappointed that you never been the world champion. They're gonna turn their back on you. Hangman Page didn't really care. He got a nice little perm now. He feels a little bit better about himself. He trimmed up his mustache. Now we're gonna keep on going. Timeless Tony Storm, she come out there. She says the Tramp is still a champ. All of a sudden, she's talking about having the best roster of all time. Talking about being in the zoo. And how she bleeds like a pig, licks like a giraffe, and is going to eat people like lions. I don't understand none of this. Megan Bayne attacked her from behind. Megan Bayne is too soon for her to be wrestling Toni Storm. But who cares? I mean, we got to do something to make this thing interesting, right? I mean, might as well do it now before people stop caring about it. Willow Nightingale wrestled Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford is friends with Megan Bayne, right? Penelope Ford loses the match, attacks Willow with a chair. Chris Statlander comes out there, attacks Penelope Ford. Then Megan Bayne comes out there. She lays out Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander. So now Megan Bayne's just attacking everybody. She has one facial expression and two feuds. I love it. Max Caster showed up out of nowhere with his mustache. He's wrestling Kenosi Takeshita. Max Caster's being funny. He's talking about the Maximaniacs and selling t-shirts and talking about his chants. And then Takeshita comes out there. He mocks Takeshita. Says that, oh, he'll kill him in this match. You shouldn't fight him. You should recruit him to the Don Callis family. Then he says he's going to beat Kenny Omega. That pisses off Takeshita. Takeshita beats him up and beats him with a flying, spinning Falcon arrow or whatever. Max Caster's very funny and being a jabroni. That's about it. Where's the other guy in that team? Do I really care? No. Chris Jericho stole Gravity's mask. Who the fuck is Gravity? He's Bandito's brother. Did I know that before this? No. Do I care about this? No. Why is Jericho still wrestling Bandito? Who knows? Sasha Banks is backstage. She got a hurt throat. She's talking to Billy Starks. Billy Starks looks 16 and impoverished. That Kentucky, Ohio genetics is really coming through when it comes to Billy Starks. She's getting a title match for winning nothing, doing nothing but watching TV. If you were a number one contender from watching TV, then hell, I should be the number one contender for the TBS title at this point. Tony Schiavone was hanging out with Will Ospreay. I didn't understand shit Will Ospreay was talking about. He started talking about making jokes about his wife, who he got in trouble for jumping off the cage. Why did he jump off the cage? It's like, who cares? He has to. Otherwise, nobody else will be talking about what he's doing. All of a sudden, he wants to be in the main event of All In. All In is in July. It's March. Okay, moving on. Jay White, he comes out, he does his thing. He's talking to Renee. Say he didn't hit Edge with the briefcase on purpose. Says he's not going to let anybody be number one contender other than him because he put too much into stopping the Death Riders. That's kind of a guarantee that he's going to turn heel, isn't it? Christian's backstage. He's staring at the camera. He's very mad at Renee. He don't want to talk to Renee because Renee is John Moxley's wife. He don't want to talk to John Moxley's wife. He don't want nothing to do with John Moxley. He blamed the referee. Say the referee jobbed him out. He wanted to wrestle Edge one-on-one when he cashed in that contract, but Edge wasn't the champion, so that doesn't even make sense. Nick Wayne called him a liar. Said, hey, you're lied to everybody. You should have stuck to the plan. Christian's like, I made the plan. I am the plan. Who are you to question me? Your daddy's a loser, a bum, and he's impotent. And your daddy wasn't the world champion. And your mama's a whore, and I'll fire her, and she'll go flip burgers at Waffle House. And that's, they breathing hard at each other. And then the story ended there. I'm like, wow, that escalated pretty quickly. Why did that happen? I guess something had to happen. Why Christian ain't mad at Edge? Why ain't Edge mad at Christian? Nick Wayne, who ain't spoke in 2 years, all of a sudden he's talking. He got a whole lot of mouth and no ass to back it up. What's happening here? Why is this occurring? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Christian has to do something. He coughs up that contract. Everything looks bad. I think that's it. That's it, right? Is that it? That's it. I did it. Less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes. That's how little happened on this show. Okay. That's the show. It was very bad. It was very boring. I actually wanted to quit the show probably about 20 minutes in, but I ended up finishing it. Well, I didn't finish it at all. I quit. I finally quit on a wrestling show. It's been a long time since I walked off from a wrestling show. This was the one. When I saw that Hechi Shero was going to be in the main event, I just walked right on the fuck off. I had other things to do. I just really got other better ways of spending my time. Coming up with some gimmick way of making this review fun was one of them. So, coming out of Revolution, just to do a little wrap up, I'm going to do the wrap up for real. You had a bunch of stuff that happened on the show. They replayed all of that stuff. but none of the main characters were featured outside of MJF and Hangman Page. The stuff between MJF and MVP was really fun. I like watching these kind of characters interact, and this was an interesting one that positioned MVP as a sort of mentor to MJF, which is something MJF has not had yet. Like, Jericho took him under his wing, but that was just so MJF could betray him later. This is somebody MJF has not betrayed, and somebody MJF can say was instrumental in his formulation to being the character that he is, or the person that he is today. And it also sets up MJF to do something really cool, as in teaming up with Lashley and MVP, and Shelton Benjamin, of course. But it also sets him up for the future, that perhaps he ends up being somebody who is against the Hurt Business, but we don't know who in the hell could possibly help him. That could be something that could be potentially interesting in the future. Like, you might see a return of the Pinnacle, maybe FTR teams up with MJF to fight the Hurt Business. Who knows? That could be some fun stuff that you might have in the future. But outside of that, there's nothing else on this show worth talking about. I mean, they really shoehorned into this show Willow Nightingale and Penelope Ford. I feel like he slapped my mama when that came out. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, legitimately, I haven't seen either one of these people in forever. Willow literally hasn't been on TV in over 2 months. So, at least Penelope Ford has been on TV recently. Megan Bayne versus Toni Storm, it is way too soon for that. Usually I am in favor of getting somebody on television and getting them in the mix quick, because fans will get bored. The problem with this is they haven't seen anything from Megan Bayne. And because of the way Tony books, if Megan Bayne wins the title, she's going to end up being a Collision champion. And if she doesn't win the title, she might as well just go home and sit, because it's over. You know, she's never going to get a major push again, and that's basically going to be it. Once you lose in AEW, unless you can bounce back somehow, and usually that's through the grace of Tony, you're finished. You know, she's going to end up like Deonna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie. And you should actually want to invest in a talent like Megan Bayne, right? That's what you should be doing. So I get wanting to get her in the conversation with Tony, but it's too soon. You should have put somebody else in there with Tony. And then let Megan Bayne sort of loom over the division. The Billy Starks Mercedes thing is pathetic. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense at all. But the Edge, Christian, and Moxley stuff is the most disappointing bit, because it's the stupidest fucking finish, and they're just going to run the match back. So now Jay White is going to have to turn heel, because there's no way Edge is taking a pinfall. And guess what? Everybody noticed that. Everybody's paying attention now that Edge don't do no jobs. You know, Cornette's talking about it. The Wrestling Observer's talking about it. Twitter, 4chan, you know, Instagram, everybody's talking about it. They calling Edge Hulk Hogan. He's not doing no jobs. Look, man, I'm going to respect it. I'm not even going to hold you up. When a guy has sort of a legacy and he's protecting his character, I'm going to respect it. I've seen too many guys, you know, with strong characters basically just give up in their later years and just start doing jobs for everybody. Edge is like, nah, I don't even give a fuck if you are the world champion. No clean jobs. Nobody getting a clean one. Even Roman Reigns didn't get a clean job. So you think Moxley about to get one? Hell no, not justified. It's not happening. I love it. I love it. Even though I think it's mostly just the booking, man. They trying to keep the guy strong. They want to blend one story to another. It seemed like they were going to try to do the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn thing with Christian and Edge, where they're destined to fight forever. But then they decided, we're not going to do that. We're going to have Christian pair off with Nick Wayne. It's time for Nick Wayne to actually earn his lunch money. And Edge, we're going to keep him as a babyface, but we're probably going to end up turning Jay White. And they've been teasing they're going to turn Jay White. So they're probably going to have Edge versus Jay White going into the future, which is fine for Edge. It's not really fine for Jay White. But then maybe Jay White will get the clean pin on Edge. Who knows? Am I guessing that it's going to happen? No. Do I care about the International Championship? No. I don't care about that at all. I still don't know to this moment who won that match between Hechishiro and Orange Cassidy. I literally walked off. So I don't know who won that match, and I don't care. I would imagine that either Mike Bailey or Ricochet is going to win this tournament and be the one that wrestles Kenny Omega at Dynasty. Mainly because Tony Khan knows the strength of AEW is having the best matches possible on their pay-per-view shows. That's really all he cares about, is putting the best matches possible on his pay-per-view shows. To a degree, it's smarter than Triple H, because Triple H doesn't, for some reason, he's against putting the best matches possible on WrestleMania. He wants to put Gunther versus Jey Uso and fucking triple threat matches. I mean, get out of here. You know, I'm still going to be salty about that. I don't care what you think. I don't like that idea. There was no Kyle Fletcher, not even a video package of him being carried out and put on a stretcher or put on a gurney or something like that. So I guess he's going to be in the dark for a little while. Will Ospreay was talking about winning the Owen Hart Cup, which somebody's got to talk about winning the Owen Hart Cup, and I guess you might as well set it up. But there's so many tournaments. There's just hella tournaments floating around. And now they have the Hurt Business. They got time off coming. So are they going to do something to come up with a number one contender for them too? Like, how are they going to come up with that? And I'm guessing tournament, fatal four-way, something, who knows. But the tag team division is in shambles. The mid-card is pretty strong because most of the show is mid-carders. And that's just kind of how it is. But there's a lot of stuff on this show that's considered fat. It's just a pointless episode of Dynamite. It really just didn't need to air. But let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah. We just gonna